CD PROJEKT RED can't keep breaking promises with Cyberpunk 2077. So let's jump straight in. Hey everyone, and welcome to my Cyber Outlaw Punk 2077 channel. Hope you're all having a preem day or night, depending when and where you're watching this. If you're new to the channel, then hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with everything Cyberpunk 2077 and everything of the Cyberpunk genre. And if you enjoyed the video or just found it helpful, then please leave a like and comment down below, as it really helps the channel. Or if you didn't enjoy the video for any reason, then also please give feedback so I can make the channel better. Also click the bell icon to be notified every time I upload. So I'm just going to read the article straight through and then give my feedback. I would also love to hear your thoughts and opinions also. CD PROJEKT RED can't keep breaking promises with Cyberpunk 2077. If CD PROJEKT RED fails to deliver DLCs and native next-gen versions of Cyberpunk 2077 on time, it could permanently lose its fans' trust. Not only did Cyberpunk 2077 get off to a rough start, but it hasn't gotten better press nearly a year after launch. It began with a slew of delays, followed by a faulty launch. In response, its developer-publisher, CD PROJEKT RED, attempted to do damage control and remedy the situation by releasing a roadmap of 2021. To its credit, the developer did deliver on the patches in that they did happen, but whether or not they resolved the majority of the issues with the base game is debatable. Also listed on the roadmap, the only two things set to release in the second half of 2021 were free DLCs for Cyberpunk and the PS4 and Xbox Series S and S ports. Again, what free DLC meant was left up for interpretation. Did this include a number of gameplay elements seemingly cut for time, new armor, weapons and ammo? It's unlikely that the free DLC would include new story content, following V where Cyberpunk 2077 left off, but some theorise that Cdpr may not charge to appease fans after the poor state of launch. Whatever the case, it's important that it lives up to the expectations it set for itself and delivers that DLC by the end of this year. It then reads the causes of Cyberpunk 2077's downfall. Prior to its launch, Cyberpunk 2077 was one of the most anticipated games for several years, especially after it released an impressive demo at the E3 2018 conference. But then it would go on to be delayed a number of times, one of the first instances to pull off fans and make the gaming community suspicious of what was actually going on behind the scenes. This culminating skepticism was corroborated when fans heard of the studio's intense mandatory crunch schedule, something CDPR had denied would be a reality about a year prior to implementing it. Then, review copies were sent out to the media folks and the like, or rather they were supposed to, but many publications reported that they had not received codes until about 5 days before Cyberpunk 2077's scheduled release date, an oddity for massive open world games presumed to be dozens of hours in length. When sites and other professionals in the gaming industry finally did receive those review codes, they were only on PC. This heightened suspicions even further. After all, if Cyberpunk 2077's performance was surprisingly good on last-gen consoles, according to CEO Adam Kaczynski just weeks before, then it was curious why the studio didn't ship any PS4 or Xbox One copies to reviewers. The motive behind this decision became clear after Cyberpunk 2077's disastrous launch, with some of the worst reception being that some weren't able to play the game on last-gen consoles at all. For those that were, Cyberpunk would crash, fail to render textures like the faces of NPCs, and see drastic dips in frame rates, and the bugs ruin the game. But the cycle continued, and CDPR enacted a messy plan to fully refund Cyberpunk 2077 players, but this went against PlayStation's refund policy, resulting in the long-term removal of the game from Sony's online storefronts. The point here is that CD Projekt Red has a reputation for a lack of transparency and handled the aftermath poorly. It's worth mentioning that the developer has since stated that it'll take its marketing more seriously and ensure that this doesn't happen again in the future. However, if it fails to deliver DLC on time and delays it, just like what happened with Cyberpunk 2077, the gaming community could lose all hope for future projects from the developer. After launch and the terrible reception that came with it, CDPR had no choice but to promise it would work to solve the issues presented by last-gen consoles, ultimately meaning it had to put off DLCs and native next-gen ports until Cyberpunk 2077 was in a playable state for its current platforms. The developer studio announced a roadmap for Cyberpunk 2077, which, while pretty vague, has lived up so far. However, fans are once again concerned about Cyberpunk 2077 and its current state of development. Patch 1.31 released a month ago, but CDPR has been radio silent since. Luckily, some savvy fans have been able to dig up hints towards content possibly scheduled to release with the free DLC, such as New Game Plus, as well as the next-gen versions, but no official word has come from the development studio itself. This is concerning, as there are only 2.5 months left in the year, while CDPR could simply drop the DLC and announce it at the same time, and perhaps it has plans to release the PS5 and Xbox Series S and X versions on Cyberpunk's anniversary. Its current practice echoes the same non-transparent marketing tactics that partially landed it in hot water in the first place. Cyberpunk 2077 won't be the end of the development studio. CD Projekt Red has been spotting hiring for a new open world game, and it's unlikely the project is at all related to Cyberpunk 2077. This means the developer is looking ahead, despite the lawsuits around Cyberpunk it currently faces. But if it continuously fails to meet expectations, especially those it's setting for itself, not just in terms of release dates, but the quality of its games, trust from the gaming community will continue to dwindle. Sure, there will always be fans, especially those acquired through the astounding Witcher 3, waiting and wait for the studio's next game, eager to play it. But CDPR's reputation has changed because of Cyberpunk 2077, and it will only get worse unless it fulfills its promises. So I've noticed there are a few websites all reporting the same topic, which is the apparent radio silence from CD Projekt Red, which, to be honest, and we've all been here from the start and gone through the release, the subsequent patches and seen the roadmap, which, like the article says, we're fast approaching the end of the year, and my own expectations are that we may possibly get another one, maybe 2 DLC, and if they stick to the same formula of 3 per DLC as DLC 1 had the car, the jacket and an alternate Johnny appearance, then, and I'm really hoping this is the case, we could receive 3 or 6 DLC items. I'm pretty confident we will get at least one more DLC before the end of the year, which, if we receive only 1 DLC before the year's out, we would have only 6 DLCs, which would leave 11 more to be added, as there are 17 in total. Now, as for the next gen upgrades, which CD Projekt Red has already stated these will be free upgrades for PS5 and Xbox Series S and X, I wouldn't expect these to drop this year, and unless CDPR were 100% confident of bug issues, performance, etc., as they won't release the next gen version until they are ready, which is totally understandable given the problematic release of the game. Obviously, the issue is the complete radio silence from CDPR, which is getting to us, the players, and also different websites picking up on the complete silence since 1.31. For me, even a brief statement saying, hey guys, we know you love this game and are waiting on fixes, DLC and the expansions, and as we've stated, we are trying to learn from our mistakes like hammering the promotion before release, but we won't get burned twice. And as of right now, we have no confirmed date for anything, but rest assured, we are 100% constantly working on all this. So please be patient with us, and as soon as we have the dates for any of this stuff, we will tell you. So even a brief statement like that will go a hell of a long way to appease fans, because at least they would have touched base with us. And with Pal Sasko becoming Quest Director, it fills me with hope and excitement, as if any of you watch his Cyberpunk 2077 streams every Sunday, Paul is so passionate about what he does, and yes, he's taken on a massive job, and he has said it's more responsibility and he's nervous about it, but I know he will give us fans everything he has to make Cyberpunk even better. Personally, a statement would be great, updating the progress, but I wasn't expecting updates until they were actually finished and ready to go. So that's my thoughts on where we are right now, and if you agree or disagree with me, that's fine, and I would love to read your thoughts and comments. And that's everything for this video, so thank you so much for watching, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next time in Night City. See you later, Tombs.